All right, welcome everyone. In today's webinar, we're going to announce the new features in Portal 3, our biggest product launch in 2020. Thanks for joining. But first, just some housekeeping up front. Most importantly, ask us anything. There's actually a part of the Zoom console which will just collect the questions. We're going to have a Q&A section at the end, so just keep them coming the whole time. Next, you can connect with us on Twitter. Our team appreciates the occasional tweet. Hashtag EdTech, let us know if you want to connect there. And then lastly, the session is being recorded. So if you found this valuable, please circulate this with your teams. All right, on introductions, I'm Rob Pryor. I head up the application success team. I joined Clever almost 5 years ago now, working as an account manager for many of you. And I'm also joined today by Kevin Kern.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Kern. I'm the VP of Product here at Clever. I've been building products at places like Microsoft and Intuit for about 25 years now, but I'll tell you, the last 2 years I've been at Clever, by far the best job I've ever had. Really happy to be here today.
So today's actually the first of, we're going to start doing quarterly product talks. We've heard from you, you want to stay more up to date on what's on our roadmap, so you can make that into your plan and train your teams. So we're excited to kick this off today, and we'll be doing our second quarterly product talk in May.
Our purpose here at Clever is to unlock new ways to learn for all students. The way we bring that purpose to life is by making EdTech implementations more successful for our application partners and our districts. Now, to that end, last year, we launched Clever Portal 2, which was one of the biggest releases in Clever's history with a ton of great new stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it. In fact, this slide is only a fraction of what we released last year, but to sum up, we made some huge improvements to our customer experience for teachers, students, and staff that made the portal both richer and a lot more friendly. And we also released a series of innovations to make rollouts easier and more powerful for our application partners with more streamlined configurable rostering. Now, we know that the more engaged a school is, the more they know and love Clever, which makes it easier for all of you to onboard and engage them with new applications. Now, last year with Clever Portal 2, our entire organization was focused on driving this kind of engagement. And wow, I mean, it was really well received. In fact, we added more new district app connections than we ever have in the past. Thus, we think we're onto something here. And as we move into 2020, we're going to continue this strategy to continue driving more engagement for all of your applications. So like I said, everybody loved Clever Portal 2, and there is so much more for us to do. That's why we are excited to announce Clever Portal 3, built to advance education in every classroom. Now, districts love what we've done, and now they want us to support the entire education community. To do that, we're introducing a couple big new features. One is a bunch of new tools to empower school level leaders to do more with Clever. The second is a brand new Clever portal for families. Now, in addition, districts also asked us for more help with analytics. So we're launching a brand new free EdTech analytics dashboard for districts to see all of their EdTech usage in one place, even if the application isn't rostered with Clever. And finally, we're doubling down on our investment in streamlining our most important workflows to save our application partners and districts more time. That's the high level, and we hope you're excited about it. And Rob, I know that people want to know more detail, so let's jump in.
Perfect. Thanks, Kevin. All right. Let's take a look at the features that expand support to the entire education community. And some good news here. Most of these updates will require no work from you, but we still want to share them as a part of our roadmap. All right, first, school leader tools. We know that technology leaders play a critical role in the schools, helping teachers incorporate technology in the classroom. Clever hasn't traditionally supported these school level leaders. We want to make it easier for them to do this by providing the tools that will empower them to champion EdTech in the classroom. In particular, school leaders will soon be able to troubleshoot, recommend EdTech, and train teachers with free PD. And these tools will be rolled out to district and school technology leaders in July, just in time for back to school. We've seen that the most engaged classrooms are the ones that are supported by school tech leaders. So we're excited to continue to drive engagement with applications by empowering these individuals. Something I'm really excited about is we're going to launch a portal for families. So ahead of back to school, we'll provide a central place for parents and guardians to access the most important information from schools and districts in order to best support their students. They'll have access to things like lunch menus, registration forms, snow day cancellations, whatever else districts and schools want to share with parents and guardians. So we're excited to continue building out our ecosystem to include all the stakeholders supporting students. This screenshot isn't the final UI, but we will welcome any feedback and input as we build along the way. Next, the Clever Academy. This is live today. It's been a huge success this year. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a free, self-paced online training program for districts, school leaders, and teachers to become Clever experts. We found a lot of success with our partners, you, pointing your end users to this resource, and it's a place we'll continue investing just to make onboarding and using Clever much, much easier. Clever EdTech Analytics. Let's move in here. So we've heard feedback from districts that usage data would be more useful if it covered 100% of EdTech usage within the districts, especially applications not on Clever yet. But in order to do this, they need something easy to install that provides high quality data and is free to use. So EdTech Analytics, this is the only free product we know on the market for districts to see all their EdTech usage in one place, down to the school and grade level, whether or not it's integrated with Clever. And just to give you a preview of what this looks like, we'll head to the next slide. Here's a mock-up of a district dashboard with analytics installed. Now this gives districts a tool to proactively identify usage gaps and take action before classrooms fall behind. In other words, it will help districts identify where they need to work on increasing engagement with your application. We were actually talking to our DA at Spokane, one of our beta testers of EdTech Analytics, and they said, we found a learning application that is hugely popular with students, and we were unaware of it without EdTech Analytics. And now they can actually bring that onto the platform and support it. So our commitment is to high quality data. And so how does this actually work in practice? So first, we activate EdTech Analytics only by an explicit opt-in from the school district. So next, we collect the data using a secure browser extension, and that collection is limited to a white list of EdTech apps only. So one example where the team has really been thoughtful in the collection of this data and tracking only active usage is we don't track usage if a tab is running to the background, for instance, or we wait 15 seconds to start collecting usage when a tab is first open. So, and usage is only monitored on district-owned devices. Lastly, this requires no development work from you, but we'd love your help in validating the application URLs we are tracking, so we know that usage is being measured as accurately as possible. And if that's something you want to do, please get in touch with us at analytics@clever.com. Next, this is the area where, if you know me, I probably spent the most time working with you, which is just like right in the middle of district implementations and streamlining those workflows. So this is where I'm really excited. A lot of my favorite feature requests I've made of Kevin are getting honored today. So let's get into it. Custom setup wizard. There's actually a few things going on here, so I want to be careful to unpack it all. But we've heard from you that it can be challenging for districts to complete the setup in Clever. You may have invited them, they may have gotten started, but maybe for one reason or another, they weren't able to complete or they didn't thoroughly review data warnings. So we're going to actually just start off by making that onboarding process way more visible to the district. So it'll make very clear what actions are required of them and where they stand in the process. So if a DA leaves and comes back, they're directed to the same place so they don't lose any momentum in completing the setup. We've also heard feedback that districts should pay more attention to data warnings, especially ones that are specific to your application. So we're also building that right into the new onboarding flow. Districts will be brought to the data warnings page, and there'll be more clear actions on how to resolve them. Lastly, And this is, I think, where I'm really excited is we know that there's more to onboarding than just getting the district set up and sharing in Clever. There's more to it. And we're going to allow applications to customize onboarding messaging in Clever so we can better educate customers on how to ensure a successful integration. So for example, if there's a place a DA needs to go after Clever, that's something we can build into the product and make available to your users. All right, smarter data sharing. This is a place where whenever we've empowered your support teams with more tools to really hone in on the data records you need, we've just seen implementations go way, way better. So we're going to continue down that path and provide you with a greater set of tools to actually get at the data you need. First, we're going to make the global recommended sharing settings visible and editable within the application dashboard. So these are like the heuristics that you can set that just say, all I need are 6th grade math classes in general. Those will now sit in the application dashboard and you can make a general recommendation to all school districts. We don't think that's good enough, so we're going to allow you then to also make district by district recommended sharing settings. So you'll be able to reach out to a specific district if the information you need and the requirements are a bit more custom and make a specific recommendation in order to get the implementation complete. Rollout toolkit. So for the first time, we're going to build in an area of the district dashboard solely dedicated to successfully rolling out Clever to schools and classrooms. This will be two things. One, it's going to be a guide in the district dashboard with a list of everything they need to do to get set up in schools and roll out Clever. Secondly, there's going to be an easy to access landing page with all the resources to help them roll out Clever in the school district and make the portal accessible to students and teachers. So going back to school, we want you to feel confident that your application is easily accessible for teachers and students to use inside the Clever portal. We're really excited for the feature set here that's going to make it easy to do that. Data Greenlight. So for many of you, this will sound familiar. You're in the middle of back to school. Districts come unpaused from their SIS. They're updating their enrollments, but it seems like that data is just changing by the minute or even day to day. We just need to give you a very easy way for the district to say, hey, my data is green, it's ready to go. You guys can sync it. So we're introducing Data Greenlight, which is just that. The feature will allow districts to clearly communicate to you that their SIS data is ready to be synced. I'll turn it back to Kevin to talk about when all this comes out.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob. So let's take a look at how this whole thing looks when you put it all together on one page. So all of the stuff that we just talked about that's part of Clever Portal 3 will be launched before Back to School 2020. We're going to start actually tomorrow. Tomorrow, EdTech Analytics will become available to districts. Very, very exciting. In March, the rollout toolkit's going to launch. In May, it's a big month for us. We've got the custom setup wizard, the smarter data sharing, and the Data Greenlight feature. And then finally in July, we're launching the new school leader tools to empower the school level leaders and the new family portal. So all of this is coming out before BTS 2020, and we're looking forward to sharing more and more detail as we develop all these features.
All right, so how can you stay informed on our product roadmap updates going forward? Well, one is we'll continue to send out the monthly partner newsletters. If you aren't getting those, please let us know. And then secondly, we're going to do this. We're going to have our quarterly product webinars. You can join Kevin, whoever guests, to keep up to date in the latest and provide just a clear view of what's coming down the pipe. And then lastly, if you're lucky enough to work inside the Clever dashboard, we'll continue to provide in-product announcements there too. All right, I want to close out just ahead of Q&A just by saying it really at Clever, we believe technology is a powerful lever that can make education more equitable and engaging. And we've seen that when teachers, students, and families are supported by innovative technology, it leads to incredible learning outcomes. And like you, we think the best days are when no one notices the technology because every student is immersed in learning with your application. So with that, I just want to thank you for helping us along this journey. And we're going to turn it over to Q&A.
Awesome. All right, I'm taking a look at the list of your questions as they're coming in. And let's see, I see a couple bubbling to the top. So Rob, one of the questions that's coming in How do I access this Clever Academy?
All right, good question. So today, Clever Academy, it's accessible and made available to district administrators. But if that's something you want to see from their perspective, we'd be happy to set you up with a set of Devo credentials if you email academy@clever.com. Let us know by emailing academy@clever.com, and we will give you the district perspective view.
Awesome. Another one that's bubbling to the top, it looks like there's a lot of excitement about Data Greenlight, and people would like to know more about it.
I'm glad people are excited. This is one of my favorite features as well. So Data Greenlight, again, it's just part of our plan to make school year rollover easier for your team. And specifically, it's just going to allow districts to notify you when their districts are ready to initiate the rollover process. But in addition to Greenlight, one feature I forgot to mention is we'll be adding a safety threshold to Clever Data. So if a district's sync or sharing updates would cause integration headaches for you, Clever can actually hold that data until a member of your team has had time to reach out and review those data changes.
So a couple people are asking about how they can give feedback today. And wow, we'd love to get your feedback. After this webinar, you will be asked to complete a survey where you can opt in to provide user feedback on these new features. So we'd love to hear from you. Watch for the survey at the end of the webinar.
Thanks, Tim. All right. Next question. What will the teachers be trained on with their free professional development?
Great question. So teachers learn all about Clever with the Clever Academy and how they can use it to access their apps. It covers everything from like how to use single sign-on, how to add apps to the Clever library, how to use classroom tools that make it easier for them to manage ed tech, like launching an app, et cetera. So, I mean, it's a huge amount of content. They can really become experts in Clever and learn any specific thing they want, or they can learn it all at once and become certified. So it's kind of a little bit of a choose your own adventure thing. You can go in there with a single problem to learn about, or you can go in there and try to learn all of Clever at once.
In another place where we did about your feedback, you all do teacher PD more often than we do. So this is definitely a place where you'll be really, really helpful in the teacher's development.
Another one that just popped up. How can I sign up for the monthly newsletter?
Yeah, if you haven't been captured by our marketing trap at this point, you can definitely submit a ticket to support@clever.com, and we will make that happen, or contact your app success manager, and we'll make sure you get the newsletter. All right, another question I'm seeing, how do ed tech analytics work if districts users mostly access our program outside of Clever? Maybe Kevin, this is one for you.
Yeah. So the way EdTech Analytics works, it uses a browser extension to capture the usage. And so even if the application is used outside of Clever authentication, we're going to be able to track that usage. Now, we clearly communicate to districts that the usage data is captured only from district managed devices that have the extension installed. But we're getting awesome data this way. And the districts that we've been experimenting with in the beta have been really, really excited to see this data.
Another one about EdTech Analytics is also with EdTech Analytics, will the application usage time out after a certain period of inactivity?
Yeah, in fact, I believe it's after 2 minutes of inactivity, meaning that the browser tab is not in focus or they aren't actively using the computer, like typing or clicking or mousing around or something. Another question about Data Greenlight. So will the Data Greenlight be a forced feature or an optional feature per district?
So generally, we're going to ask districts to let us know when they're rolling over with the Data Greenlight. However, it doesn't block data from coming over, making its way to you or requiring to take a specific action. It's meant to serve as a signal to your team to begin or to incorporate in the rollover process, but using it is fully optional today. Next question. Have you done anything to validate the data you are preparing to show the districts with your application partners? I'm assuming this is EdTech Analytics. You want to take this one?
Yeah. So we've been working with about 30 districts during a 5-month beta period. And so we took this data validation very seriously. We didn't rush this product to market. We really wanted to make sure we had it right. So we've been experimenting with these 30 districts for a while now. And those districts have helped us validate our data usage in various ways. They've compared it to data that's visible in their applications. They've used a lot of other, kind of techniques to triangulate and help confirm that we're getting the right data. And of course, we've also shared our plans for EdTech Analytics with our application partners over this beta period to get their feedback too. And like we said during the content of the webinar, that the list of URLs that's really critical to this working great, it's easy for us to update. And so anytime we find some kind of discrepancy as we roll out to more and more districts, we're going to be able to jump in there and make sure the data is absolutely perfect. So we've done a lot to validate it already, and we're going to continue to be super vigilant because we all know this feature isn't useful unless the data is spot on. So we're committed to that.
All right. Next is the Clever Academy, the PD we referenced. Is that free for districts? And the answer is yes. It's all online and completely self-paced so that they can complete it. And there's a few different levels going, I think, starting as coach and getting all the way to Clever Champion. But yes, that's free and online and available today. Next, I see a question about the Clever Parent Portal. Is the Clever Parent Portal, will this be available for vendor integration so that we can share notifications to the school and send to parents using our application? Really great question. We'd love to chat with you about it. We want our family portal to be as easy as possible for our app partners. So we won't require any integrations, but if you're an application where that has relevance, connecting with parents and guardians, we'd love to hear from you and figure out how we can make this feature more useful. So my ask is just please reach out to us.
Another one coming in, Rob. What do application partners need to do exactly to use the setup wizard?
So to use the wizard itself, technically nothing. Most of that is just going to be automated as part of the product. So districts are just going to be walked through sharing and then viewing data warnings. But if you're referring to that piece on customization, that's going to be basically setting your application's globally recommended sharing, bit of a mouthful, if you haven't already. So this is just reaching out to your account manager or when this becomes available in product and developing that, what is that rule or heuristic that says, in general, the things I need from school district are these subjects, these grades, or whatever it is. And then next, if you have additional steps or custom messaging you want to put into the product, that'll be available in the Clever dashboard. And we'll, of course, be reaching out to you to solicit those and make sure we're completing that. So if you're interested in participating in our beta, please just make sure you fill out the survey at the end of the webinar and let us know.
Awesome. Another one about the data greenlight. Will the data greenlight feature be accessible via the API?
It's a good question. Not for this back to school, just given the limited time. But we wanted to make sure that all application partners could take advantage of it without needing to undertake any development work. So that's why we're starting with this working in product. But it's a great feature request and something we could definitely bake in the future.
Another question coming in, will any of the new data sharing features change anything with the way data is accessed from the API? In other words, is the data model staying at 2.1?
So the answer to that, will we need to make any changes? No. So the data model API are going to remain the same and no additional development work is needed from you.
Now, do all the districts have EdTech Analytics?
So the answer to this one is not automatically. So in order for districts to use EdTech Analytics, they first need to opt in, and then they also need to install that browser extension in their Clever dashboard and make sure that that's actually deployed down to end users. So this becomes available tomorrow, but it's strictly opt-in, and again, it does require that setup. Cool. Next question, can you email us this PowerPoint? Yes, so we'll be sending a recording of the presentation tomorrow. Just look out for an email from us.
Well, I think the questions are drying up a little bit. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know how to reach us if you have any additional questions, and watch for that email from us with the recording of the webinar tomorrow.
And thanks, everyone. Definitely take the survey after this webinar. We'll be doing these quarterly, so we just want to incorporate any feedback you might have how we could be clearer, better update you, and just really look forward to engaging on these Portal 3 features and a successful back to school 2020.